Shalom, everyone. This is Chris Shoemaker, also known as Yehuda Ben Shomer, and welcome to the Daily Drosh. Today's Daily Drosh is taken from 1 Samuel chapter 16, and I'm going to be reading starting at verse 6 from the Living Bible translation. And this is talking about when Samuel was called by the Lord to anoint a new king after he rejected Saul. And it says, when they arrived, Samuel took one look at Eliab and thought, surely this is the man the Lord has chosen. But the Lord said to Samuel, don't judge a man's face or his height. In other words, don't judge by his appearance. For this is not the one. I don't make decisions that way. You do. Men judge by outward appearance. But I look at a man's heart. I look at a man's thoughts and intentions. Kind of added my own paraphrases in there with that, if you didn't notice. But we've read that verse over and over. We've heard that verse talked about and preached over and over. We've also created our own cliches to express the same sentiments. Don't judge a book by its cover, things of this nature. But still, our humanity gets in the way. Actually, our culture gets in the way. People who are raised in a Western culture, expect a certain appearance by somebody who claims to be a minister, somebody who teaches or preaches. Growing up, I was used to a guy wearing a suit and tie with his hair parted on the side or in the middle. And if a guy didn't look like that, then automatically people kind of questioned his credentials or questioned uh, his salvation even. And, if he looked any different or dressed any different, they wouldn't listen to his message, regardless of how good the message was, regardless if it came from the Spirit of the Lord. They wouldn't listen because he didn't look the part. I even knew of a church one time that would not allow a man to speak behind the pulpit unless he wore a white shirt, a white collared shirt. If it was a different color, sorry. Crazy, right? Yeah, pretty crazy. And even today, I know that there's people who judge other ministers by the way they look. Pastor Bob Beeman. He's often been called the heavy metal pastor. I've been following his ministry and his teaching since I was a teenager because I was a Christian headbanger, and I listened to a lot of his sermons and things like that. And he has a lot of great things to say. I don't agree with 100% of everything he says, but I don't agree with 100% of what the majority of people say because we have our own opinions. But I do know that his messages, his teachings, his ministry has edified me and has blessed my life in tremendous ways. But people want to judge him because he's got long hair, because he's got a goatee, because he wears black, because he's got tattoos, because he listens to heavy metal music, and they're so distracted by the outward appearance they're not even listening to what this guy has to say. Myself, being a Messianic Jew in a predominantly Protestant Christian community, I've had people not listen to me because I'm wearing a Jewish prayer shawl when I preach, or wearing a kippah or a yarmulke on my head when I'm teaching or preaching. And because I don't look the part of a Protestant Baptist minister, a lot of people just shut their ears and won't listen to me. I've actually been in churches where after spoke, the people who had the sour faces in the audience wouldn't even look at me or shake my hand as they walked out the door. That's that's how much they didn't listen to me and judged the book by its cover because I didn't look like the traditional Baptist minister, because I, adhered to my culture, my Hebraic Jewish culture. Um, it's sad that a lot of people won't listen to somebody else just because the way they look. But it's kind of like listening to a radio. If you're listening to the radio, does it matter what the radio looks like? If it's an old beat up radio that you use in your garage while you're working on your car, or if it's one of these fancy streamline MP3 players or Bose system, or the highest tech end of radio technology, or if it's coming from a Sirius satellite radio, it doesn't really matter the package that it comes in. What's important is the message. And no matter what the person looks like on the outside, we ought to listen to the person's message and discern spiritually, does it come from the Lord? And if so, no matter what the person looks like, we need to, just embrace that message. It's just like if we had some speaker from another country, I wouldn't expect them to totally look or speak or sound like me or dress like me. If they're coming from another country and they're a believer, I'd expect them to look like where they come from. I've ministered in Africa many times, and what they wear behind the pulpit when they speak is totally different from what we wear in the West. And it doesn't bother me one bit. What's important is the message and the integrity of the person delivering that message, not what they wear. So let's kind of keep that in mind when we're going about our life, because there's a lot of people out there who have different stylistic tastes, and we shouldn't expect everybody to look like us for them to have the right message. Anyways, love you guys. Thanks for listening. Go out there and have a great day. Shalom and Shavua Tov. Shalom, everyone. This is Chris Shoemaker, also known as Yehuda Ben Shomer, and I'm the founder of AbrahamsDescendants.com. I just wanted to make you aware that there were two different blogs on the website that you can take advantage of. The first of which is the Abraham's Descendants blog, in which every week I post a blog dealing with the Messianic or Nazari Jewish lifestyle. The second of which is my personal blog called Yehuda's Blog. And on there I post a blog each and every day, and it could be anywhere from a commentary to a teaching to an observation to my personal thoughts or an article on the Messianic Nazari faith. Hope to see you there. Shalom.